What's up, everybody? So today we are getting into gaorn. This is the second part of dagarn GX. And so we're gonna be taking a look at him today. So you guys already know the drill, so let's go. Okay, so here is the box. So as you can see, just with dagarn, it's just pretty much a picture of the figure. And then of course this is transformation. So he transforms into a lion, and then you've got the foreshadowing of dagarn GX on the front. So not too bad. Same with dagarn X. I just kind of wish it had kind of been drawn. You know, you could have got Obari to do it. So it would have been amazing if they had done that. But you know, it's not bad. So anyway, so that's the front. Let's take a look at this side here. So that is the side there. So another shot there, nothing spectacular. Same with the other side. So, and then for the front or the top, you've got that there. So just a picture of the figure, and that on the back, that's kind of where all the good stuff is. So of course you've got dagarn GX, and then of course you've got some of the posing with the figure, which is interesting. If you notice, going back to my dagarn X review, with dagarn GX, I really just have him pretty much standing. But like I said, that's just a foreshadowing. But anyway, so yeah, so you got those, you got separate pictures there. So you got that, and then at the bottom, it's another shot just like that. There we go. So that is the box. Now we'll take a look at the manual. Okay, so let's take a look at the manual here real quick. So of course, just like dagarn X, just the name there. All right, got the logo for the series. All right, and let's take a look what we got inside. So you got a parts count here. So you got the figure, and then you got some extra parts here and here. Not too much with this guy. He's actually pretty bare bones. So, but that's what you've got there. No English like in dagarn X, but you know, pretty self-explanatory. This one's actually really not that hard to transform or anything like that. So, but that's what you've got for the manual. And let's see. And then of course, towards the back, it shows you how to start to form dagarn GX, but we'll get into that in another video. So that's what you got. So that's it for the manual. Let's get into accessories. Next, we've got his accessories. So first, he's got his tomahawk. So he's got two of those. See if I can get that to focus. There we go. So, and just like with dagarn, he had this, there's this slit for the semi-articulated hands that he's actually got on. You can actually just plug that in there. But these will also work with these as well. So you kind of just take these and you kind of slide this in there. I've tried to actually get it the other way, but it doesn't do very well because these are pretty, they don't move a lot. So, but yeah, so he's got it kind of like that. So that's what he's got for his tomahawks. And then next he has the G Vulcan, right? And so pretty much in the show, he used this as a Gatling gun, and this does turn. So that's pretty cool. All right. And then he's got the G cannon. So he's got this one as well. And then what dagarn GX would do, he would actually combine these and it would actually become the G Buster. So, but we'll get into that with the next review. So we've got that. And then for his hands are pretty much just like dagarn's. So he's got pretty much every one. So this is the closed fist here. So you got the closed fist there. These are the ones for the tomahawks. All right, and as far as I know, it looks like you could probably interchange these with dagarn X if you wanted to, because they look like they're the exact same hands. So you got that, and then you've got the expressive hands there. Okay, and then they actually throw in another set, and then these are actually for dagarn GX. They're a little bit bigger than the normal ones, so you can tell that there. So these are actually for dagarn GX, so that's what we'll be putting on dagarn GX. Now, there's actually some things that they have that they actually didn't do gimmicks for that I'm actually quite surprised. So actually what we'll do is, let me adjust this camera real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, there we go. So for Ga-Orn, he's got a couple of things here. So first off, he's got these claws here. Now in the show, these claws actually would they would shoot out like an anchor. And as far as I know, these don't come out or move at all. So they kind of dropped the ball on that one. So they've got that. You've also got the G-bird here on his chest. All right. And then actually this goes on top of the G-buster with dagarn GX, but you've got like that. And you would just open up his head there. Boom. And there you go. So not too bad, right? Yeah, so not too bad there. So that's the G-bird. And like normally what he would do is he would actually take these wing parts and he would throw them like a boomerang. So, but these do not come off as far as I can tell, because it looks like they're screwed in. So, so that would have been a nice gimmick too. So, but you got that. Let me put this back on him. And then, all right. And then what you've got for the shoulders, he's actually got missile pods here, but these don't actually come out. I'm actually okay with that one. Out of the ones that I just mentioned, this is probably the only one that I'm actually cool with those being stationary. But, Goodsmile kind of missed the opportunity to kind of come up with some gimmicks for those. So I think that would have been pretty cool to have, just so you'd have had some more stuff, because, with Ga-Orn and with dagarn X, they don't really have a ton as far as accessories are concerned. So, that's unfortunate, but, it's still good. So now we're going to get into articulation. Let's see what kind of articulation this guy has. Next, okay, we're going to get into some articulation. Now, as you guys know, especially if you watched my dagarn X review, that was kind of where dagarn X fell short, was in articulation. With Ga-Orn, it's not nearly as bad. So first things first, we'll take a look at the head here. And with the head, he's got quite a bit of range of motion. So he's got like that. He can look up. He can look all the way up, and that's due to his transformation there. And he can go 360, quite simple. So he's actually got quite a bit of range of motion for his head. So I'm really impressed with that. Now for his shoulders. Unfortunately, you're not gonna get much out of it, and that's due specifically to the transformation. So unfortunately, his arm will only raise this high. However, he does have this part where he can kind of move it this way. And literally you can turn that totally 360. Let me move this out of the way, hold on. Move this part out of the way. But he can move that totally 360. So that's actually pretty good. I just kind of wish it went up higher, but the reason why that his shoulder won't go up any higher than that is due to this transformation. So when he transforms into the lion, this is the big part here, and you've got this bar right here. And so unfortunately, because of the way that he transforms into the lion, you're not going to be able to get anything out of that. So unfortunately, but I still consider that to be a decent trade-off. So that's okay. So that's what you've got for the shoulders. Now, as far as the arms, he's got pretty good range of motion there. So he can do that 360 all the way on the bicep. And then he does have an elbow bend. All right, so that's pretty good there. And then now for his wrist actually has quite a bit of range of motion. If you can look at that, he's got way more than dagarn X had. So you know, it can go all the way in for the most part. If it wasn't for this claw part, it could probably go out further than that. And it's just on that ball joint. And that's just due to the design versus dagarn. But yeah, he's got a lot of good articulation in there. Now, for the middle section or his abs, he doesn't really have any, and that's due, I think, to the transformation and the part that he transforms into dagarn GX. And so unfortunately, you're not going to get any ab crunch out of there. So you're not going to get any ab crunch. It doesn't really move side to side. It's kind of stationary. And it has to do with this part back here, that this is kind of all locked together. So unfortunately, you're not going to get anything. Now, if there was a way to actually get that, that would actually be very, very good for him. But that's what you've got. So there's not really any kind of waist or ab articulation. Now, for the legs, he actually does quite well. So unlike dagarn X, his sides or his front skirts will go pretty much all the way up. So he's got a lot of room there. So you can actually take this arm or this leg and move it all the way. So that's a good 90 degrees right there. Now, what you do have though, is because of like his lion transformation, this is like the legs for the lion mode. This is kind of heavy on top of this. So sometimes it will the leg will kind of sag down a little bit, but for the most part, it's still pretty good. So he does have that. He does have a good knee bend there. So he's got that. And then this actually, whoops, his tail just fell off. The leg will actually go all the way up, right? So that's actually pretty doggone good, especially compared to dagarn. That's just way, way better. So you've got that. Now, can he do the splits? Not really. And that's just because unfortunately, it's hindered by the side skirts here. The side skirts only go up this way. So unless you're maybe going to turn them like this, I mean, I guess you could do that, right? And then let's see what he's got here. So that's probably about as far as he's going to go. So that's not too bad, though. You know, with dagarn X, he could do it, but that was just because that's how, you know, his transformation was with the train. But this still is not bad. So that's pretty good for that. So let's move these back down. All right. And now for his ankle or feet. All right. This is where things kind of get interesting, right? Because here he doesn't really have like an ankle. Just because of the way that he transforms, this part, there's not really like an ankle in there. That's just kind of like an empty space. And that has to do with his transformation into lion mode and stuff like that. So he doesn't really have like an ankle or any kind of ankle articulation. However, with the feet, they have the feet kind of like just on, you know, this part right here. And so, but you've got, you know, you can pretty much move this all around. So you can go up, it goes down, you know, it goes left, right, you know, all of that. So actually considering, you know, he doesn't really have an ankle, that's actually really good support for him. And you can kind of stylize that any way that you want. So, you know, he's got decent articulation. So I actually can compare to dagarn. This is great. Is it perfect? No, but it is really, really good. And it's definitely an improvement over dagarn X as far as his articulation is concerned. So kudos to Goodsmile for that. If dagarn had this kind of articulation, that score that I gave it, which was, you know, between a 6 and a 6.5, would have probably been like an 8.5 or a 9, because articulation is very important, especially to me, not to everybody, but to me specifically. So, but yeah, so that's what you've got for articulation. Now we will get into his transformation. Okay, so now we're actually going to get into his transformation. So it's not a really hard transformation, but things do have to fit correctly. So let's see if we can do this here. So first things first, what we're going to do is I'm going to take his tail and I'm going to pull that off. And that's going to come into play later. Now I'm going to take his lion legs and pull those off and put those to the side as well. So, all right. So we'll take those, move those over to the side. Now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take his chest part, or the G-bird. You can either pull this off and do it, but really you don't really need to. All you need to do is take it and move it this way. Move it down, or you could take them off if you don't want that to get scratched up. I didn't have a problem with that though. So now you've got them like this. So now what we're going to do is we're gonna take a look at his shoulder here. So this is where things are kind of gonna get kind of complicated here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this, all right, and then we're gonna take this and have it to where the claw part is in the front. All right, and then I've actually got the semi-articulated hand, so his thumb is kind of sticking out, but that should be okay. If you actually wanna go with the closed fist hands, you can do that. All right, so we're gonna do that for his arms, so they're both facing in like that, okay? Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna take his head and I'm gonna face it upwards like that. Now he's got this little hinge here. That's why he has all that good range of motion. And what you're gonna do is take that and actually kind of have it go up like that. So literally he's kind of like looking at it like that there. And then you can take this, open that up. All right, and then you can push this. It's kind of like Go Lion or Voltron with the faceplate. So you just kind of push it up and it goes up into the roof of his mouth just like that. So not too bad, right? So we've got him kind of like where we want him. And then I actually took that and moved that down because it was actually sticking out like this. So, and then we'll just take that and move that down. All right. So we're about halfway done. All right, so now we're gonna go to the back. Now, you're gonna do some stuff with his legs here. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take this bottom part, that's actually where it's kind of like used as his heel. We'll take that and open that up, all right? And then you're gonna take this part and open that up like that, all right? So you've got it like that. And you can do this one at a time. I tend to do them both at the same time, so. And then what we'll do, actually we can close his feet up as well. So, all right. Okay, so we got these open and we got those parts open. Okay, so now to his shoulders, okay? So what we're going to do is we're gonna take this and you're just going to pull that around. And what that is there's a little latch there, that's where that connects here to there. So you just take that and move that back just like that. Now, this is actually a little bit easier to show you if I just do it one at a time. So what you're gonna do is you're actually gonna take his leg and you're actually gonna fold it. And what this does is that arm part goes directly into here. All right. And then what you've got here is if you look at his side of his leg, he's got kind of like a little groove thing here. And what that does is that actually goes right on there and it hooks right in there. All right, so we can get that to work here. And then we're gonna take that, move that in just a little bit. There we go. And then that hooks together just like that. And then you can actually take this part and kind of push that in just a little bit like that. So now he's sticking out kind of like this, okay? So, and you do the same thing to the other side. So what we'll do, swing that arm around. And then if you look at the top, you've got a little part here. I don't know if you can see that. My light's pretty bright. I got new lighting, so that's why why it's a little bit brighter than normal. But yeah, so you've got that little latch part in there, and then what those do, those will actually stick together, okay? So, but now you're gonna put that in there like this, and then you're gonna do the same thing that you did with the other side. So, and it pretty much fits in there pretty good. I haven't had much trouble with it, but let's make sure we can get that in there. And then that little part there, you're gonna have to go and match that groove there. So let's hope we can get the boom. There we go. So it goes in there just like that. Now you can take this part here, you can push that in, and that will keep in. It doesn't stay like super close, but you know, it's good enough. It's not gonna come out or anything like that, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the bottom parts. This is actually like his knees. And then what you're going to do is you're going to actually have to pull this part here because there's a divide here. And so what that does, you're going to pull that out. And this is kind of tight. So you can use a little bit of force, just don't go crazy with it. All right, and just kind of pull that out just like that. Let's see if I can get this other side here. All right, there we go. So that's kind of out like that. And so that kind of stays together just like that, okay? And then we'll try to keep this shoulders together. And then let's see if I can push this back in there. Okay, so overall, it's pretty good. Okay, now what you're gonna do for these, remember this was the back of his leg. So what you're gonna do is this little part here is gonna go right into that groove right there. So that'll kind of lock in place just like that. No snap or anything, but it will lock in place. So got that. All right, boom. All right, so he's coming together pretty quickly. So that's pretty much his line form. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to, let's see, I'll put on his tail, all right? So his tail, you've got this little notch here. That's actually gonna go in here, all right? So what we're gonna do is take that and put that in there. It kind of goes like in between his legs. So let's see if we get this. I may have that on upside down. Let's see. Oh yeah, all right, there we go. So that kind of goes in just like that. I want to make sure that's in there. Yeah, it's in there. Okay. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. Okay, yeah, so now he's in there like that. So now he's got his tail. So now really all you have to do now is attach his legs. So put that to the side. We will take his legs, all right? So all you're gonna do is take this and wind this out just like that. And take that and boom. And then his actual, feet are articulated, so you can kind of have that go any kind of way you want. So that's pretty good. All right, so that's one side. All right, and let's take a look at the other part. This is the other side there. So that, and then pull those out just like that. And so that's it. And so really all you do is clip these on. So what you've got is you got some attachments here and here. So what you're gonna do is take these and kind of snap this in. This will snap into place. Boom, just like that. All right, and then the same with this side. Just gotta line them up. So, all right, boom. And then, there you go. So, now he is standing just like that. So, not too shabby. All right, let me see if I can move this down here. We'll mess with my settings here. Boom. All right, so that's what you got. So that's Ga-Orn as a lion. So, and you can open this mouth here. Boom. So not too bad, I must admit. So not a super hard transformation. You just kind of got to make sure that everything lines up the way that it needs to. And as you can see, like this front part kind of doesn't want to go together, but what it is, you got these two black parts here, and these kind of go into the shoulder part. And unfortunately, sometimes when you bring the legs up, these will actually come out. And so I think that's what's giving it this resistance there. But even still, even with that, it still looks really, really good. So that's what you've got for Ga-Orn as the lion. So now we'll actually get into final thoughts. Okay, so final thoughts on Ga-Orn. I think that this is a significant improvement over the dagarn X. he's not perfect, right? He still has a little bit of articulation problems, especially like in the midsection, but I will chalk that up just as that is kind of the cost of his actual transformation. But I think that Goodsmile made significant improvements with Ga-Orn. I just kind of wish that they had given this to dagarn, because to be honest with Ga-Orn, he's really just a parts former. So in essence, like, he's kind of just going to break apart in order to form dagarn GX. And I find that to be interesting because since dagarn X is the main piece of dagarn GX, he needed the articulation. So it's unfortunate that he didn't have it. But I think that Goodsmile actually did a pretty good job on Ga-Orn. And for my score, I'm going to give him a solid 8. Like I said, not perfect, but they definitely made up for some of the lack of articulation in dagarn. He does look great. He does look like Ga-Orn's supposed to look. His transformation is quite simple and all of that. So I really did enjoy this. So of course, for the next video, we're going to be getting into dagarn GX. So I'll be going through that. And then also I found out that actually I hit over 100 subscribers. So thank you guys for watching the videos. I truly do appreciate it. And pretty much probably for every milestone that I hit, whether it's 100, 1,000, or, you know, et cetera, you know, I'll kind of peel back the curtain and kind of let you guys know like how I even got into this as far as collecting, because I've been doing this for quite some time. Even though I've only been making videos for about a year or so, you know, I've actually been collecting for quite some time. So I may do a video on that after this series is done. But anyways, thank you guys for watching the video, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.